Good morning. I'm in Reeth and I'm about to walk the route of the epic Swaledale off-road marathon. Takes in some local tops. We're going to follow High Femington, Femington Edge, go along, we're going to drop down, then climb back over the other side over to Great Punchard Head. Then we've got a lot of bog and more to cross. Eventually we're going to drop down Ginnerside Gill into Ginnerside itself. Then we're going back over the tops, Surrender Bridge, over Reeth Moor, and eventually we're going to drop back down into Reeth. In Reeth, beautiful place. There we go. That's Femington Edge over there that you can see. That's the first climb of the day. It is going to be wet. It rained all night. It's been raining the last couple of days. Got a couple of streams to cross. I'm expecting it to be very boggy. We've got just crossed the bridge coming out of Reeth, and we're heading across this footpath here, which will meet up with a lane which will take us all the way up to Femington Edge over there. So you can see the tarmac track going up. This peters out and becomes a dirt track heading up to the edge at the top. Dale, that's Reeth in the bottom. The tarmac's degraded now, as you can see. It's still climbing. Tough start to a marathon. So we're at the top of Femington Edge. This is the wall that you can see here. We're going to cut through the wall and follow this path here which skirts the side of the wall. There we go. Right, I've got to this gate at the end of the wall, so I'm going to continue across the moor before we descend. Quite a steep descent. So that cairns the end of Femington. Now we're starting the descent. So the track runs around there in a horseshoe, as you can see, going down, but there is a shortcut going straight down the edge there, which I'm going to take just to cut the corner off. Just dropping down into towards Langthwaite now. There we go, got a new bridge. Just following the river for a bit into the village. I'm in Langthwaite, crossing over the bridge up to the road. I'm going to follow the road. Just cutting down the side of the church back onto a footpath. Take us to the next bridge. There we go, we've got to cross the bridge. There we go, we're going to turn left here, follow this road. Now I believe we're going up to a farm called Low Faggigill, which is a way away before we double back on ourselves. I'm just looking across there, we can see the track skirting across the veldt, which you're going to take in about 2 miles, going over the next top. But at the minute we're on this road here, and we've got to go up to not this farm, it's a farm about a mile away before we drop down into War. So we're just coming into War. We're going to cross the bridge there and then head up over the fells. So we're just hitting the road top out of War. We're going to go straight across that little track there, pick up the main track and head over up the moor. So we're on the track now, follow this for a while to Great Punchard, and I think Little Punchard we've got to go to over there, across a gill. A couple of forks in this track that we've got to be careful of. Some sort of old mine there. still following this this track. We're turning off it shortly. So I think this is the point where we veer off now and cross Great Punchard Gill. This is like pretty close to the top of Great Punchard itself. Just going to cross the gill here. Now the path is much thinner on this side than the other. Much thinner. So that's the track we came up earlier. Now if you're running the marathon, I believe there's a checkpoint over there. And now we're on this little lane here. Small track following this gill. I think we're going to meet up with a fence shortly. So that's Little Punchard Head, and we're veering right here up to the fence, and should be a gate up there to go through. Right, Stan. I was looking for. Straight through, follow the track. Quite straightforward now. Now then, we're at a funny junction here. Now I believe if you're doing the marathon there's a self-clip around here. And we've got to drop down to some ruins. And then there's another checkpoint further down, as far as I can remember. So I've been following this Land Rover track down to this old ruin, and this is where we cross the stream over there, and we're going to pick that track up. There's a moonscape landscape. We're on this track. We just climbed a little bit more climbing, and then I think we've got a very, very long descent very shortly. Just got this last bit to do before we hang a left. So there you are, got some remnants of the old industry up here. Now we're just about to bear left up here, getting ready for the long descent. So we're on the track running down to Ginnerside, coming off the tops. Lovely view. It's Ginnerside Gill down there, bit of a waterfall. So I've just gone off the track we've been coming down. There's a little gap in the wall here, so I'm following this faint track through this gap, and then drop down to the gill, and then follow the path at the gill back into Ginnerside. Not sure if you can see how steep this bit is, but there's been a couple of very steep banks to negotiate, this being one of them, to drop down to the wood. The gill. There we are, Ginnerside on the bridge. Lovely little village. There we are, the start of the drag. Got a bit of height now. View of Swaledale. Lovely. So we're top of the climb out of Ginnerside now, on this high lane road path. Gonna skirt along this now. So the grass track has become a tarmac lane. I think when we get to them houses I'm going to hang a left. The hill you can see in the distance is Calver, and I believe we're going to skirt the underside of that on the way back to Reeth. There you go, footpath, Surrender Bridge, that's us heading up here. So we're on the road dropping down to Surrender Bridge now. There's Surrender Bridge in the bottom, and over there is Calver. We're going to skirt under Calver shortly. And there she blows, Surrender Bridge. Now if you're running the marathon, I do understand there's a checkpoint down here. So we're crossing Surrender Bridge. Now we've got to cut up here, but cut up to a higher track. So we've got to get on the highest track we possibly can. So I think there's a little cutting up here, and follow the high track. There you go, just looking down at Cringley Bottom. Got a steep descent, the steps up the other side to the gate and the wall, and we're going to follow that wall line back over. Just looking back down Cringley, you can see where we've been, the road over there. I think this is we're about to head over Reeth Moor, I believe now. Reeth Moor. So I'm on the track underneath Calver, and it's just forked there. Now I think the lower fork drops down too quickly into Hilo, so I've taken the left hand one, the higher one, to try and keep my height. So here we are, just about make out Reeth in the bottom. I think the backdrop over there is probably Femington Edge. Went over this morning. So I'm going to skirt along this wall, and I think if you're doing the marathon there's a checkpoint up here somewhere, self-check. Stan, come here. So got to find where that was clipped and make your way down into Reeth, down a little curly lane. So here's the start of the gate to the lane which drops us into Reeth. Horrible, curly, rocky, I seem to remember. There we are, just dropping back into Reeth. What a fabulous day's walking.